the man of the hour, Mr. Bronson Reed. Sir, how are you? And thank you so much for the time.
No, I'm doing good. Thank you. To be on my favorite wrestling podcast.
Well, thank you for saying that. You say that to all the podcasts. Come on.
Trust me, I really don't.
Yeah, just the top 40 or 50. That's it.
No, but we're excited. And before we get into what we're going to see Saturday at Wrestlepalooza and this new platform, the whole relationship with ESPN and how the WWE has just gone into the stratosphere with everything that's going on right now. And I'm sure you would agree, this is the best time to be a WWE fan with everything that's going on. But for you personally, you know, we've been able to see your journey in real time. You're with the WWE. Do you have a life outside of the WWE where I really think you showed how valuable you are? And now here you are, you know, you're in the main event of Monday Night Raws. You're wrestling in front of 15, 20,000 people every single time you step into the ring. Just talk about what this last year has been for you personally.
I feel like in my career, I've never really been hot-shotted into a position. So I've always worked my way up the ladder, wherever that's been, whether that was the independents, whether that was NXT, or even my time away with Impact in New Japan. Now I'm finally in the position that I've wanted to be in for the last few years. And it's not easy, obviously. I feel like there's a lot of things happening. You're working a lot. It's not just what you see on screen as well. So, but I'm very happy to be in the position I'm in, and I feel like I'm just, really just starting. There's still a lot to come.
Yeah, you said, you everywhere you've gone, you haven't been hot-shotted because you put the work in. And so many people hell, my family for 15 years of me being in WWE thought I just worked on Monday nights for the most part, and you're like, no, there's so many other things that happen, all these aspects where you have to be. Was this injury that you came back from, was this the first significant major injury that you had? And was there anything in your mind that was like, am I going to be the same when I come back? Do I have to change what I do? Or was it determined like, here's the time frame, I'm going to be back a month before I'm supposed to be, I'm going to lay down and go? Like, what happens in that mindset? Because it's a jarring thing for especially some younger guys and gals out there. It's like they think, oh, I can't believe this happened to me. Like, what was your mindset from that moment on?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely the most serious injury I've had. I've completely, my PCL completely exploded when I was on the Indies, and being on the Indies, you sort of wrap it up and keep going. So
Right.
I've had that experience before. I've torn my rotator cuff before, but I feel like those are all things that I could sort of work through while I was still wrestling.
Right.
Whereas this one was the first one that sidelined me. I couldn't, for the first 2 months, I wasn't even allowed to put any weight on my foot. So I was sitting on a couch, like just sitting there. And when that does happen, you do question yourself. You're wondering, like, what am I going to come back to? Or as you said, am I going to be able to do the same things? And I just made sure to hit it really hard with rehab. And then once I was able to get back in a ring, I found that I was most comfortable doing things inside of a ring. So like all the exercises, everything I was doing for rehab, I might have looked a little bit wonky, or I couldn't do certain things. And then as soon as they put me in the ring, I could hit the ropes, I could suplex people, I could do everything. I felt most comfortable being there. So once that happened, I knew, okay, I need to come back with a vengeance. I need to make sure that when I come back, I can do everything that I did before and then some. And I made sure to do that. I made sure even the last month before coming back, I stuck to my diet. I hit the gym a different way. I got a strength and conditioning coach. So I made sure that when I come back, I am something a little bit more special than what I was before.
You know, Bronson, when you first left the WWE, as a fan, I didn't understand why, because I saw what you were able to do in NXT, and I'm like, this guy's going to be a huge star for the WWE. Obviously,
yeah, trust me too.
Yeah, no, and you know, and I didn't understand it. I'm sure you didn't understand it. And like you said, you've now earned everything you've gotten and now have this second opportunity. But here you are, you know, you're just, you know, the main event of Monday Night Raw. You got a big match coming up on Saturday at Wrestlepalooza. Like, I'm sure that was always the vision, no pun intended. But like, how does it feel to know that not only were you able to come back and prove everybody wrong, but now you're as high as you could possibly get on the card being back with the WWE?
Yeah, it feels great. I feel like you know, the old sayings, the cream always rises to the top and stuff like that. But this business, it can break you down mentally very much. And you can question yourself a lot. And I feel like I had some great advice from Carl Anderson once years ago. When I was still on the independents, I remember someone asked him, what's your best advice for wrestling? And he didn't really know what to say, so he just said, "Don't quit," and then sort of walked off from this kid. And then that always actually stuck in my head, that that's the greatest advice I think in wrestling, is just don't quit. Because if you do, you never know where you're going to end up. And through all those hurdles, you know, I made sure to have that in the back of my mind and hope that eventually I'd be in the position I'm in. And now, yeah, I'm main eventing Raw and have this big matchup with the Usos, who are coming back together. You know, undoubtedly one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And we have the Vision stuff going forward as well, which is just going to get bigger and better. So I'm happy to be in the position I'm in.
That's great. And a bunch of people looking forward to that match too. It's seeing the Usos back together, seeing you two do what you can do, and watching the rise of the Vision and everything that's coming your way is great. Is there anything, without going too much into the weeds, you can tell us about waiting to come back? Was it, as you got a trainer, you did so many different things, you're I'm going to be ready to go, I'm going to be crushing it? Was there anything, were you pitching ideas creatively? Were you just going, I'm going to get in the zone and be in peak physical condition, and when I'm ready to go, here, I'm here, let's go, let's do it? Or were there things running through your mind while you were like, maybe I'll go here, maybe I have an idea for this? Or was WWE even like, hey, we have a spot for you, kick ass on rehab, be ready to go, because we're going to give you a shot?
Yeah, so for me, I had a bunch of ideas. I always am coming up with ideas and things to pitch, just in case. You never know what's going to land, what's going to stick. But also I do know that every week things change as well. So to try and to have something that, like, 6 months in advance, hey, maybe we could do this, maybe isn't the smartest thing to sort of pitch. So I was lucky enough, a few weeks into after my surgery, Hunter rang me and had a conversation with him. And I remember him saying, like, look, just don't worry about your spot. You know, that's what everyone is worried about. He said, when you're good and you're healthy, you come back, you'll be in a good spot. So I just made sure that, you know, I kept him as a man of his word, and I didn't even think about what I was going to come back to. I just made sure to be in the best, you know, the best I could be with my injury and everything for when I was ready to return. And then, yeah, I didn't know about any of the Vision stuff pretty much until a few days before. So it was really one of those things where I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. And yeah, and it worked out.
I got to give you so much credit and the WWE for something that was a big talking point here on Busted Open. You're a part of the Vision. Seth Rollins is the champion. It's very
Yep.
easy for you and Bron to fall in the back of the pack. And for a second there, I thought it might have been possible. But what you've been able to do over these last couple of months on Monday Night Raw is really show your worth and show how good you are and how strong you are. And obviously, creatively, the WWE has been able to do that. How important was that for you? And did you have a little bit of a fear first and foremost that you might have to take a step back in a way?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you never know in these positions, especially with these groups, sort of what role you're going to play. And I've always said, um, with WWE, whatever role that you're given, you just have to make the best of. Whether that's a match, whether that's a promo, you just have to sort of knock it out of the park, no matter what you do. And I think that gets seen when you do that. But you're right. You know, at first, I think there was a lot of people online saying that we were basically J&J security, and you can't treat. And this is nothing against them. Those two are great,
Yeah.
but you can't treat me and Bron in that same respect. We're both two heavy hitters. We're both two guys that can kill everyone on the roster. It's almost like Seth having two heavies, but I feel like the group really is individuals. You know, as much as me and Bron are becoming a tag team now, we're still very much two singles wrestlers as well. And I think you're starting to see that, as you said, in the last few months of television, you're starting to see everyone sort of branch off and do their own thing, which only makes the Vision even stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah, it will. It absolutely will. That's a great point. Like branching off and doing your own thing, but still keeping the group together and dominating the show. And you brought up a good point. I was like, the Usos, we know what they can do. We know they're one of the greatest of all time. And then the two of you, Bron and Bronson, are singles wrestlers, like you said. Has there been anything over the last few months to where you're like, you have been on the same page quickly, or was it, hey, we're both singles guys and we're kind of getting used to it? Or is it like, hey, the chemistry's there because we've been together and we're rocking and rolling?
I feel like there was a feeling out process the first couple of times that me and
Oh,
Bron
yeah.
teamed because we weren't familiar with each other.
This is a special time, Bronson, and here we are. WrestlePalooza is the first event with ESPN on this ESPN app. Like, how excited are you and the rest of this roster to be a part of something so big like this relationship with ESPN?
I think it's very exciting times. You know, when you think of sports in general, you think of ESPN. So it feels so big to me. You know, growing up, I was a big basketball fan and NBA's on ESPN. So I always watched the 30 for 30s, and now you're going to get to see, you know, Bronson Reed on ESPN. So it's very exciting, and I feel like WWE is sort of just kicking goals constantly. You know, month to month, we're doing more and more things that are expanding us globally that like I even recognize it, you know, walking down the street, people notice me more. And I think it's because not only am I on Mondays more, but it's because we're on a platform like Netflix or ESPN or all of these big deals.
Nah, you're right. And Bronson, again, thank you so much for the time. I mean, here we are so close to your big match at WrestlePalooza. We'll be watching Saturday night WrestlePalooza, part of this new ESPN app. I have it downloaded. I'm ready to go, and I can't wait to see what you and Bron Breakker are going to do against Jimmy and Jey Uso.
That's right. Yeah, you made the right pick. We're going to beat them.